Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Panchatattva, 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 Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jai Jai Simhadev, Nrisimhadev, Nrisimhadev, Jai Prahlada Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtatarashata Shishimati Danti Goswami Acharya Naravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Ashtatarashata Shishimati Danti Goswami Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Maharaja Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Om Prem Stakoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasa Adigora Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Madhava Gopinath Radha Kunda Shyama Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavana Madhura Dama Ki Jai. Mayapura Navadvipa Dama Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Srila Gurudev. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sha Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Svarupakam Bhaktavakyaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, verse 16. And the chapter is entitled Advent of Lord Krishna, at the beginning of 10th canto. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punati Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrutrim Tatpada Shalilam Yadha Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punati Bhaktaram Prachakam Shratrims Tatpada Shalilam Yada Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punati Bhaktaram Prachakam Shratrims Tatpada Shalilam Yada Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punati Bhakta Prachakam Shrotrims Tatpadam Shalilam Yadha Vasudeva Katha Prashna Bhaktaram Prachakam Shadrims Tatpada Shalilam Yada. Vaishnavi, please. Purusham Strin Punati Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrims Taktaram Yada Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punati Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrims Tatpada Shalilam Yada Asupra Katka Prashna Vasudeva Katha Prashnah. Questions about the pastimes and characteristic of Vasudeva Krishna. Purushan, persons. Trin, three. Punati, purify. He, indeed. Vaktaram, the speaker, Sachi Shukadeva Goswami. Prachhakam, an inquisitive hearer, like Maharaja Parikshit. Shrotrin, and between them, the listeners hearing about the topics. Tatpada Shalilam Yadha. Exactly as the entire world is purified by the Ganges water emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, three varieties of men are purified. First, the speaker or preacher. Second, he who is inquires. And third, the people in general who listen. Purport. It is said, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyata Jigyasuk Shreyach Uttamam, Srimad Bhagavatam 11:321. Those interested in understanding transcendental subject matters as the goal of life must approach the bona fide spiritual master. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyata. One must surrender to such a guru who can give right information about Krishna. Herein, Maharaja Parikshit has surrendered to the right personality Shukadeva Goswami for enlightenment in Vasudeva Katha. Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead who has unlimited spiritual activities. Srimad Bhagavatam is a record of such activities, and Bhagavad Gita is a record of Vasudeva speaking personally. Therefore, since the Krishna consciousness movement is full of Vasudeva Katha, anyone who hears, anyone who joins the movement, and anyone who preaches will be purified. So such a beautiful verse and the purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is very important verse, as all verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the previous verses, Maharaja Parikshit expressed his desire to hear about Vasudeva, to hear Vasudeva Katha. And he explained wonderful qualities of such Katha. And here in this verse, in response, Shukadeva Goswami also describing or continues describing the wonderful qualities of Krishna Katha. And he mentions specific quality of Katha, Prashna. When we ask him our questions about the topics of Krishna. Here, Krishna Katha is compared to Ganga. And he purifies whoever hears, whoever speaks about Krishna, and whoever listens. And whoever asks, all of them, they purified by this Katha. And here, all these personalities, participants of this Katha, Vaktaram, the speaker, Prachhakam, whoever inquires or inquirer, and Shrotrim, the people in general who listen, they give in specific order, 1, 2, 3. And this order is not yes, this order not occasional. This order is as it should be. And it's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, why this order is given here of this participant of Katha. He says, the topic of Hari is most purifying for the speaker, then the inquirer, and then the listener, in that order. So this is order of purification by Krishna Katha. Most purified is speaker, then the Prachhakam, who inquires, and then Shrotrim, the people in general. Why this order is given here? Why this sequence is given here? Actually, all these participants in Krishna Katha, they correspond to different levels of the process of learning by Katha. So Katha is itself, that's not our goal. That's our goal by Katha to learn about Krishna. Because Krishna is our worshipable object, and we're supposed to establish the relationship. So how we can establish the relationship and serve in them the person whom we don't know. So through Katha, we're supposed to know Krishna. That's the learning process. So the learning process, according to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has 3 stages. First is Shravana, when we just orally accept the knowledge. And this is purifying for sure. We accept the knowledge through oral reception, through our ears. And this is the level of Shrotrim, of the listeners. They get purified. More to add to this, the second level is Manana. What is Manana? Gaining an intellectual understanding by reflecting on what we hear. This is more purifying than just Shravana. That's Manana. And this is the level of Prachhakam, the inquirer who inquires, who asks questions, the speaker. And the third one, when we get this intellectual understanding, when we're convinced, then we have to go to the next level, to the third level, and this is Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana, that's the level of practical application. And this is naturally coming. These levels are very natural. First we hear, and then we contemplate on what we hear, and then practically apply it in our life. Yes. And this most purifying, because the practical application is most purifying for us. Through practical application of what we hear, we get understanding, we get experience, and through this experience, we get more. We get our realization. This knowledge becomes realized knowledge. So this process of Nididhyasana, how I'm supposed to apply this? What is here for me? Right, to apply, to follow. That's the question we have to ask ourselves during these discourses on Bhagavatam. So we can see from this verse that even the person who asks the question, he is purified more than the one who just listened. It's very significant. Why? Because mere question, that's a sign of manana. So some intellectual work is being done, and this is more purifying. Through our intellect, actually, Krishna manifest himself. He says in Bhagavad Gita, I will be shown in the working of your intelligence. And this is how we do our manana, when Krishna appears there and help us to understand him better through the process of inquiry, through the process of reasoning, contemplation on what was heard. And the third one, when we're convinced, we can apply it. And then through this realization, which is also given by Krishna, through the heart, we can understand him more. We cannot understand Krishna just by getting the knowledge, just by Shravan. No. We will understand him when he reveals this knowledge to us, when he explains or states this knowledge to us in our heart through realization, through this revelation, thus we can know him. Nididhyasana is a must for the preachers. Therefore, they are purified the most by Krishna Katha, by the process, because they're supposed to speak from the platform of realized knowledge. They cannot speak just, opening their lips and just speak, like vibrating the air. No. They have to practice what they speak and then to get realization on what they speak. And then only they can speak. Therefore, this purification is the highest purification. So the more we do manana, the more we get purified by Krishna Katha. So that's obvious from this verse, and it's explained by Acharyas to us. And here, amazing the benefit given by Srila Prabhupada at the end of this purport. He says, it's very special adding, extending Shruti Bhav. For whoever who hears Krishna Katha, Srila Prabhupada adds at the end of the commentary, therefore, since the Krishna consciousness movement is full of Vasudeva Katha, anyone who hears, anyone who joins the movement, and anyone who preaches will be purified. It's interesting. He adds one more kind of participants of Katha. Whoever joins the movement, they may not hear, they may not speak, but they just join the movement and still they get full benefit of Krishna Katha. Why? Because this movement consists of Krishna Katha. It's full of Krishna Katha. Therefore, you cannot escape Katha. Somehow or other, you will be in contact with this Katha. He may not directly serve Krishna Katha as these three kinds of participants, Bhaktaram, Prachkakam, and Shrotrim. He may not listen, he may not preach, he may not ask questions, but because he will indirectly serve, like in some way or other, he may drive the preachers to the spot of Katha, he may clean the spot of Katha, he may cook for the participants, whatever he can do indirectly, participating in Katha, he still will get the same benefit as other participants of Katha. I found it's very wonderful, so Srila Prabhupada gave the extended blessings for those who participate in this movement of Krishna Katha. And then next to it, so how we get purified? Because here it's stated we are getting purified. So how Krishna Katha purifies us? Whoever listens, whoever speaks, and whoever asks questions. It's interesting question. And it's explained in 176, in the verse itself. Anartha pasamam shakshat bhakti yoga adhokshaja lokana janito vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. Anartha pasanam sakshat. All our anarthas upasamam, they get purified, or rather they eliminated by sakshat bhakti yogam, direct bhakti yogam, or process of this Satvata Samhita, the process of listening to Krishna Katha. And because people in general didn't know all these things about Krishna Katha, they didn't know how to get real happiness through hearing Krishna Katha. Therefore, Vidwan, who is Vidwan? That's Srila Vyasadeva. He compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam to give this opportunity to people to hear Katha and thus get rid of all the anarthas. Anartha upasamam. All the anartha will be eliminated by this process of hearing. It's also interesting. What is this anarthas? That's something superfluous for us, something that imposed upon us. And Burijan Prabhu said the main anartha is our body. So we hearing Krishna Katha, we destroy our body. It's interesting statement. We eliminate our body by hearing Krishna Katha. And it's proved by Kapila Deva. So we are getting rid of this body. That's what we want as spiritual soul. We want to come out of the boundary of the body, which is naturally restrict us in everything. So it's natural desire of spirit to go out beyond the matter. And it was happening right now here. We are going beyond the scope, beyond the limits of our limited everything, our mind, intelligence, and false ego. And Kapila Deva proves it in the third canto in his teachings. Jarayat yashaya kosham nigirnam analoyadha. Jaratyat dissolves. Ash very quickly, ya kosham. Kosham, that's our subtle body. So subtle body get dissolved by this process of direct Krishna Katha, the process of oral reception. It's very interesting. Right now, we are dissolving our body, our subtle body. And what is there in this body? What's supposed to be dissolved? First, it's our false ego, and then our intelligence, material one, and the mind, which is also material, right? We have these constituents of our subtle body. And our false ego. Okay, what's supposed to be dissolved there? That's our false identity, right? On the basis of our body. I am such and such because I identify myself as my body, so I'm such and such. All these designations, all these upatas, they are there in our false ego. This goes away. All these designations, all the false identity goes away, and then it's actually our forgetfulness of our real identity, that we are servants. And by dissolving this ego, false ego, we are getting real identity, because false ego just covering real identity, and it is there in the soul. I'm a servant. I'm a servant of Krishna. So we get this understanding just being here in this room, listening Krishna Katha. So false identity dissolves, false ego dissolves, and real ego starts sprouting. We are the servants. This feeling we are getting right here during Bhagavatam. That's how Bhagavatam dissolves our false ego. And then how our intelligence being dissolved, because it's also stated here, intelligence is part of our subtle body. So even material intelligence being dissolved here during Bhagavatam Katha. Usually intelligence, Bahushaka, yeah, we know this from Bhagavad Gita, Bahushaka, many branched intelligence, because it's engaged in so many different kind of activities for our sense gratification. Therefore, it's Bahushaka, many branched. But spiritual intelligence, as normal intelligence, the principle of intelligence, it has three functions. It's Smriti, Vichar, and Viveka. So spiritual intelligence, it becomes very firm. We hear yesterday from the verse 10:1-15, spiritual intelligence becomes samyak, completely, vyavasita, fixed. Instead of Bahushaka, being many branched, doing so many things at once and doing anything, so it becomes fixed in what? In spiritual understanding. This is the first and main feature of our spiritual intelligence, which manifests substituting the material intelligence. And it becomes Vyavasayatmika, single-pointed intelligence. By this intelligence, by this real spiritual understanding of everything, we can see how everything connected with Krishna, how all our situations sent by Him, how He manifests in everything in our life for us. This is spiritual understanding. We will not see this world in material perspective. It will be always in spiritual perspective. So this is a speciality of spiritual intelligence. And intelligence based on smriti, our memory. So in material intelligence we have material smriti, which are filled with all this kind of knowledge we are getting from knowledge gathering senses. But spiritual intelligence is filled with spiritual knowledge. It's interesting. It will be with us even something happened with our material memory. Say, Niranjana Maharaj tells this story when in one of his temples, in his zone of preaching, one senior Vaishnavi, she lost, because of accident, she lost her memory. We call it amnesia. She couldn't remember anything. She couldn't remember who she was. She couldn't remember her name. She couldn't remember her material address. She couldn't recognize any of her relatives, although they were around. But she could remember that she stays in Vrindavan. She lives in Vrindavan. That's her first. I am from Vrindavan. I don't remember my material address, but I remember that I am from Vrindavan. And second, she recognized the devotees very perfectly. Oh, this is such and this is such and such. And she remembered Hare Krishna Mahamantra. She remembers the holy names of the Lord. That's a miracle, right? So whatever may happen with our memory, material memory, but the spiritual memory as a basis of our intelligence, it will be with us. And another story like this, one lady also, because of amnesia, she lost her memory. But what she remembered, she could manage with this lost memory to traverse the whole way to Mangala Arati. She was coming perfectly every day for Mangala Arati after she lost all her memory of her identity, of her everything. But she knew the way to the temple and she knew everything. She knew the time for Mangala Arati. She could manage to wake up, to come and to chant her rounds. That's what is there in our spiritual memory, in our spiritual intelligence. So that's the spiritual intelligence based on spiritual memory, right? And there will be Vrindavan, there will be holy name of the Lord, there will be Mangala Arati, there will be association with the devotees. So we have good chance at our last moment to remember Krishna. No matter what would happen with our material memory, but the spiritual memory will be with us always. So it's very good news. This is our spiritual intelligence. It's being opened during this katha, and material intelligence dissolves. And then spiritual mind, again the same thing. Spiritual mind goes away because of being dissolved by the process of katha. So what is the replacement? That's the spiritual mind. Material mind is chanchalam, right? That's his main characteristic. It's flickering. It goes here and there on the thread of material senses. Wherever senses leading the mind, it will go there, for sense gratification. But spiritual mind, the main feature of spiritual mind, it becomes attracted to the topics of Krishna Katha. I just got this from the previous verses. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. The mind gets this taste for Vasudeva Katha. And now it's tha. Now it's not flickering. Now it's fixed on hearing. That's the advantage of Krishna Katha. Right? I have such a wonderful mind and intelligence. And by this, we develop our relationship with the Lord through Katha. Because we will find our the Lord in Katha, on the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's what we need, we want. We want to come out of the boundaries of our material mind, intelligence, and false ego, and be situated in spirit. And the highest perfection of this, we will find full spiritual freedom when we meet complete spirit. That's the Supreme Personality of Godhead during this Katha. It will be revealed to us. That's how Krishna acts. Through our intelligence, it gives us a realization on the level of nididhyasana when we apply it, when we get realization through practice, and then the more he reveals himself, the more he gives opportunity to serve him and understand him better, and the more he reciprocates with us. More thing to add here. How else Srimad Bhagavatam purify us? It's analyzed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said that there is 21 anartha. We just heard anartha upasanam sakshat, that this process eliminates all our anarthas. And he defined, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 21 anarthas which are there in our conditioned existence, which are the impediments on the path of our bhakti. And he says that all the leelas of Krishna, they divided into Nitya and Naimittika. Nitya Leela, that's eternal leelas of Krishna on Goloka Vrindavan. It's Ashtakala Leela, with 8 divisions of day, and it's permanent, it's Nitya. But there is Naimittika Leela. Naimittika means temporary, and Krishna manifests these leelas here in this material world when he descends. And mainly this leela of his childhood, this Balya Leela, which is not there in Goloka. There is no Balya Leela or pastimes of childhood of Krishna, right? Then, which he manifests here in the material world. So Balya Leela, that's very special part of the leelas of Krishna. And it's said, out of all the leelas of Krishna, it's most purifying for us. It gives us most understanding and progress of all the leelas Krishna. We will go to there. So all these different anarthas, they correspond to different demons in Vraja Leela. That's 21 anartha correspond to killing of 21 demons. And it's also said that the demon or gross manifestation of this anartha, that's just gross manifestation of this anartha. But the real demon, it's inside. That's our anartha, in its subtle form. Right? Say, Kalya Damana Lila. Krishna fight with Kalya, right? But this Kalya, it's in our heart. And this anartha is anartha of envy. So Kali represents an anartha of envy. Literally speaking, Krishna doesn't fight with demon externally. He fights our anartha in our heart. And when we listen to killing of different demons, we are killing anartha. By listening this specific pastime of killing different demons, this anartha who correspond to this demon, corresponding to the demon, it's being killed in our heart. We destroy this anartha in our heart just by listening about the same anartha manifest externally in the form of demon. Say, when we hear, when we listen to Kalya Damana Leela, then what's happening? This anartha of envy, represented by Kalya, which is there in the heart because it's original anartha of all the living entities, being destroyed by the process of hearing. So like this, 21 Leela represent 21 anartha in our heart, and when we hear the corresponding Leela, the corresponding anartha just eliminated, being eliminated in our heart. Isn't it wonderful? Just by hearing, we eliminate all these anarthas. It's really a miracle of this process of Krishna Katha. And we found that for us, it's okay. it's recommended to meditate on the Leelas of killing demons in Vraja. Not in Mathura, not in Dwaraka. Why? It's also explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because all these demons in Vraja, they represent anarthas on our path of bhakti. And because we strive for bhakti, we don't strive for jnana, we don't strive for karma, therefore it's recommended for us to concentrate on the Leelas of killing demon in Vraja. Whereas the killing in Mathura, say Kamsa, they will destroy anarthas, all these Leelas, hearing about this, they will destroy anarthas on the path of jnana. Whoever strive for jnana, if they want to really get to perfection of jnana, they have to hear about the killing demon in Mathura. And in Dwaraka, when Krishna kills a demon around Dwaraka or being in Dwaraka, then this hearing about these Leelas of killing the demons there in Dwaraka, it eliminates all the anarchas on the path of karma. Whoever want to get perfection on the path of karma, they will hear that particular Leela of killing demons in Dwaraka. But for us, as for devotees, it's very essential to hear all these Leelas of killing demon in Vraja. This is our Namitika Leelas. That's how the process of Krishna Katha eliminates all our 21 anarthas. It's also wonderful, isn't it? And there's another thing which I would like to mention. We have 5 more minutes. We hear from this verse and from the previous verses about the purifying force of Krishna Katha, that Krishna Katha purifies us, right? To be purified, we have to hear Krishna Katha. But to hear Krishna Katha, we have to be purified. It's like a circle without any break to come out. To be purified, we have to hear Krishna Katha, and to hear Krishna Katha, to be able to hear, understand Krishna Katha, we have to be purified. How to reconcile? It's like apparent contradiction, but how to reconcile it? It's right there. What are the evidences of this, that we have to be purified to hear Krishna Katha? It's in the first verse. Nirmatsaranam satam vedyam, right? The very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam speaks us about the qualification of hearer. Nirmatsaranam satam vedya. Vedya, to know Bhagavatam, to understand Bhagavatam, one should be nirmatsaran satam. Satam, devotee. It should be situated in goodness. And nirmatsaram. Matsarya, what is the matsarya? Envy. She shouldn't have this contamination of envy in the heart. Means he should be or she should be already purified, right? Even to be able to hear Krishna Katha, right? Even to be able to understand Krishna Katha. And then more to add, 112 in the purport Srila Prabhupada states, one becomes qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam after many pious deeds. So if piety is not there right now in us as the hearers of Bhagavatam, not us, others, then what? They cannot hear Bhagavatam. If you are not pious, you cannot hear Bhagavatam. That's direct statement from Srila Prabhupada. And more than this, 10.1.4. Everyone is busy in self-gratification, but when thus engaged, one cannot understand the value of Krishna Katha. Means, if you are engrossed in sense gratification, you cannot understand Krishna Katha. So what is the chance to understand Krishna Katha? So how to become purified to be able to understand Krishna Katha? It's right here. Srila Prabhupada addresses this apparent contradiction at the beginning of his purport to this verse. He says, It said, Tasmat Gurum Prapadita Jigyasurshreya Uttama. Those interested in understanding transcendental subject matters as the goal of life must approach the bona fide spiritual master. That's the solution. When we start serving, and we know this approach, right? There are three constituents of this approach to the spiritual master. Pranipat, we have to submit ourselves. We have to become submissive. Pranipat means, literally speaking, to pay frustrated obeisances, to fall in front of our spiritual master, Pranipat, and then Praniprashna, Pariprashna. Pari means something which beyond that matter, Prashna, to ask about the spiritual matters. And then Sevaya. When we start this process of surrender to our spiritual master, then miracle happens. And it's there in 1.2.16. Shushushok, Shadadanasya, Vasudeva Katharuchir, Syan Mahat Seva Vipra, Punya Tirtha Nisevanat. Interesting. By serving those devotees who are totally freed from all vice, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Meaning by serving we get purified to be able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. That's actually how we can reconcile this apparent contradiction. First, we serve our spiritual master, we approach our spiritual master, and when we get purified by this process of surrendering, by the process of serving our spiritual master, then we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how it's been reconciled. How we become pure before studying, before learning Srimad Bhagavatam, by serving our spiritual master. And then, when we get this affinity, when we get the urge to hear the Bhagavatam, then another miracle comes into picture. Shinvatam Svakatha Krishnam, Punya Shravana Kirtanam, Hridyanta Stokya Badrani Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam. This Suhrit, this Krishna, when we get this urge to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, this Suhrit who is there in our heart, Vidhunoti, he cleanses the heart from all whatever is not wanted there, whatever is sitting there, and of all our anarthas. And it's called Abhadra. Vidunoti Sukhritam. All the Abhadra, Vidyanto Stohya Badrani, Abhadrani, all this Abhadra will be cleansed by Krishna himself. This is another benefit of Krishna Katha. When we hear Krishna Katha, when we get the urge to hear Krishna Katha, and Krishna himself cleanses our heart more and more. And then Bhagavatam, Shinvatak Svakatham Krishna, Punyashravana Kirtan, Hidyanta Stokhya Badrani Vidunotish Sukrit Satam. That's how Krishna cleanses our heart, and the Bhagavatam itself cleanses our heart. Nashtaparayesha Badrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Right? The regular attendance in the classes of Bhagavatam. By this attendance, all the troublesome things in the heart, all the abhadra, which be cleansed by Bhagavatam itself. So it's like a triangle. First, spiritual master cleans us so that we will be able to hear Bhagavatam. And then when we get the taste for hearing Bhagavatam, Krishna himself cleanses our heart. And then when we attend the Bhagavatam with this cleansed heart, Bhagavatam cleanses us. It's like triangle of purification. We get from spiritual master, from the process of Krishna Katha, hearing Bhagavatam, and then from Krishna himself. I would like to stop here and see if we have any questions, short or comments or addings.
Thank you for class. I'm just trying to get a little extra credit since I sat here and listened. And so if I ask a question, I get extra credit. Is that correct from what you said?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So I covered 2 levels. I'm not going to sit up there so I won't get all 3. But that was just a joke. First, I'll give you a comment. This is a little story that one time Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture to a bunch of university students. There was about 150 students there. And at the end of the lecture, he said, "Are there any questions?" And not one person put their hand up. And Srila Prabhupada leaned over to Satsvarup Maharaj and said, "No questions means no intelligence." I just thought I'd throw that out there. So if you're hearing this Krishna Katha and you're listening attentively, naturally it's going to stir things inside of you. So we should all be thinking and saying, I have question. So there's naturally questions that will be coming up. Now you were saying about the false ego going away is that everybody does understand that we have ego. Ego is not a dirty word. Ego is, understanding who you really are. False ego means you don't understand and you're acting improperly because you're not acting like yourself. You're acting what you think is yourself. So this katha is purifying. Is it possible, like Srila Prabhupada said, he listened to Bhaktisiddhanta, didn't understand anything he said, but he listened. Is it possible that we can become purified if we're sitting listening but we're not understanding? Is that still purifying?
Yes, of course. That's the last category, that's hearing. But should be 2 requirements fulfilled. First, attentive and submissive. When it's there, these 2 requirements fulfilled, then we will be purified. So much so, then intelligence will come out in the picture. We start intellectually proceed all these things. We will understand finally. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You were mentioning that killing of demons in comparison to Vrindavan, Dwarka and Mathura. You referred the killing of demons in Mathura as obstacles for Gnana, and Dwarka you mentioned for karma. I just got a question that bhakti is transcendental. It has nothing to do with karma and Gnana. And Krishna Katha is absolute. So in which regard and what is your reference when you say that Mathura and Dwaraka pastimes are related to karma and Gnana?
It's not for us. I mean, we don't analyze usually all this killing of demons in terms of eliminating our anarthas. We analyze our anarthas in Vrajalila, in killing of demons. This is our anarthas. That's what we focus on. We focus on our envy as an obstacle on the path of bhakti. We focus on our pride. We focus on our material desires, which are represented by different demons. When Krishna kills them, that means he kills also all these obstacles on the path of our bhakti. Therefore, we concentrate on the killing of hearing about the killing of demons in Vrajalila. That's our field. And all other demons, they are killed simultaneously. All other anarthas are represented by demon in Mathura and Dwaraka. When we hear about the killing of demons in Vraja, it will include the killing of demon in Mathura and in Dwaraka, because bhakti includes all the achievements of all other processes, right? The advantages of all other processes, they included in bhakti. So if we hear about Kalya Damana Lila, we get as a result of hearing about killing of Kamsa, or killing of Dantavakra, of killing of Shishupal. You understand? So because bhakti, it's just the the different steps toward bhakti. So it's already included jnana and karma. Therefore, we more concentrated on the hearing about them in Vraja Lila. Yeah.
We noticed that in the USSR, when Krishna consciousness was banned and people had the risk of going to prison if they were caught with Prabhupada's books or publishing Prabhupada's books, there was a really strong interest. And then later, when it's allowed to sell books, and I experienced this in Poland. When Krishna consciousness was against the law, then if people were like starving for it, and then when they were allowed to have it, then no, yet. So what's the psychology there? Why is it like when something? How did Krishna consciousness become? Why was it somehow more sought after when it was restricted and unavailable than when everybody had freedom?
It was not available on the West as well, I think, not on the East. Not just in the Europe, but in America as well. We are European countries like former Soviet Union. It's not because it was not available. The hunger is there always. We are hankering for this kind of knowledge. If it's available or not, it's just another thing. But because in our countries we were prepared more materially for this. We were doing such a tapasya. From the very beginning of our existence, it was tapasya and tapasya and tapasya. That's how it was explained by Srila Prabhupada. When he came to Moscow, they were struggling to get some food which could be eaten by vegetarians. So it was struggle from the very beginning, where to get food. It's, the queues are there like many kilometers on this queue just to get vegetables. Or it was very austere, the condition of our living. Very small apartments with no basic facilities there. So the people were materially detached. There was no, literally speaking, material sense gratification there in these countries. Therefore, it was very easy for us to accept something which was spiritual, because we were not materially attached. Whereas in America, the living standard is very high. All the people attached to this sense gratification given by different facilities for sense gratification. We didn't have it in Russia, in former Soviet Union. Therefore, it was very easy. And because it was easy, and it was nectarian as well, we accepted it. It was a replacement for our tapasya. And it's easy thing to replace tapasya with the spiritual, right, devotional, than to replace material sense gratification with the spiritual. To replace tapasya with the spiritual is more easy than material sense gratification as it's in the West. Thank you so much.
We have thousands of festivals. If you come to Russia, still, thousands of people are getting attracted to Krishna consciousness now. It's just in the West, people know about those stories back in the day because it was just less people. And you could, like it was in 26th Avenue, everybody knew everybody in the 80s But now we have thousands and thousands. You come to any festival in Russia and you will understand that we're making more devotees than anywhere in the world. Just because we don't have fancy temples doesn't mean anything. We have namahatas, we have bhakti vrikshas, and right now we have a festival under very, very heavy conditions in Belarus because Russia is fighting with Ukraine. Bhakti Vigyana Goswami did a festival in the middle of the politics in Belarus. There is 250 devotees getting initiated by him, first initiation. And second initiation, 40 people. And this happens 6-7 times a year. And the requirements to become a devotee in Russia is much heavier than it is in India or in the US. And I'm the witness, I can tell you, I lived in a Chicago temple for 10 years. To become first initiated in Russia, you have to pass 6 exams. You have to pass a special educational program. You have to chant no less than 2 years, and you have to do a practical service. To become a devotee there, if you see a Russian devotee who is initiated now, offer your obeisances, because people don't even stay in our movement because our restrictions are so hard that they go to Gaudiya mats. 4 rounds, easy, 4 regulative principles, get initiated in Radha Kunda. But ISKCON devotees from Russia are cream de la cream because they really stick through all these restrictions and everything. Because my number in my initiation, when I was first initiated in 1998, was 146. And now they get up to 250. So try to be visible when there is such a big movement happening in Russia. As I said, I think it's a wrong understanding just because we don't have grand temples, because don't kid yourself, USSR fallen apart, but the church is still very active. You know that 2 years ago they wanted to proclaim Bhagavad Gita in Russia as a book which is extremist book. We had to go to court to fight it. So we may not have big temples, but we have a huge movement, and a lot of people are joining, and the preaching is going on, and the distribution of books, which is very unfair because India is #1. The people sometimes, I distributed personally in Calcutta to a Muslim, because he was so pious, he just gave money, but he was in a whole attire and everything, and he was Muslim. So, but it doesn't mean they read it. In Russia, if they buy that book, most likely they will read it. So our book distribution is heart to heart, not, life members bought 100,000 books and just gave it away. So I'm just saying that I think you need to take a closer look. It has nothing to do that it's now widely available. The attraction of Krishna consciousness was always there and will be always there because people of the world, not just Russian, are hungry for this. And I urge you, being a Prabhupada disciple, come to Russia, give your association, and you will see. You will have 100 minimum disciples in the next 5 days. I guarantee it. So whenever you're ready to take a responsibility for those who is attracted, not because we're poor and we're easier attracted, no, because we're smart. We can survive through a tough winters. Please see me, I will send you there and you will see with your own eyes how this movement of Srila Prabhupada is striving, because thousands of Russians are joining every day.
I totally agree. Thank you so much. I didn't hear your question to the end, like therefore I partially answer whatever I hear. I answered to this part, but Mataji added. Thank you so much for all your comments and questions. I'm very sorry, we have one more event for today to present and discuss. This is Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, and one of his disciples, Yogini Mataji, would like to speak on this event.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Today is the 73 appearance days of His Holiness Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami. So we would like to invite all of you to come for the celebration. In case some of you may not know him much, or some of you don't know him, we are going to give a brief biography of Maharaj. So Radha Prema is the daughter of Maharaj's disciple, Vaishnava Seva Babu and Sachipriya Mataji. So she is going to read the very brief biography of His Holiness Srila Ramakrishna Goswami.
Hare Krishna. So, Ramakrishna Goswami Maharaj, he was given initiation by Srila Prabhupada in 1968. He served as a GBC member since its inception in 1970. He accepted sannyas in 1972. He served as India's GBC secretary from 1970 to 74 and as a trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, overseeing sales in the U.S. from 1977 to 2002. From 1975 till 1979, he was the head of the Radha Damodar Book Distribution Party, which consisted of hundreds of disciples who traveled around the USA on buses distributing Bhaktivedanta Swami's books. Maharaj was a very respected figure in the academic world and a regular and popular presenter at the American Academy of Religion annual conference. He was the author of several books on various religious subjects, including 2 collections of essays, 2 memoirs, a novel, and 2 classical Vedic dramas. He was a doctoral student at Cambridge University. His thesis was on the theology of ISKCON's founder, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The many books written by him include The Servant of the Servant, the drama of Lord Jagannath, The Final Pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, Yoga for the New Millennium, The Song of God, Reason and Belief, Hare Krishna at SMU, TKG Diary, and A Living Theology of Krishna Bhakti. The project of Mayapur Institute New Campus was originally taken up by Maharaj, who wanted to assist Srila Prabhupada in establishing an ISKCON University in Kolkata that would have a branch in Sridham, Mayapur, and invite people from all over the world to come and study spirituality. This was the main reason Maharaj enrolled at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas in 1995 to resume his studies. He graduated in 1998 with an honor in religious studies. Then he moved to the UK to pursue a PhD in religion and theology at the University of Cambridge. He was aiming to open this big center for spiritual education in Sridham, Mayapur on the completion of his education. Now this project is being carried on by the Mayapur Institute. Maharaj was serving as a GBC for Taiwan, China, Philippines, Fiji, Texas, Mayapur, and Kolkata. He was empowered by Srila Prabhupada to accomplish many difficult tasks, such as buying the first land from Mayapur, infusing energy into the Radha Damodar party, and he was the first person to go to China for preaching, and so on. He was the pioneer of Chinese preaching, and now more and more Chinese people are joining the Hare Krishna movement to practice Krishna consciousness. During Gaur Purnima time, you can see more than 200 Chinese devotees coming to join the festival.
Thank you so much.
At last, I would like to share the message sent by His Holiness Jayaveda Swami, expressing about his cooperations with Srila Ramakrishna Goswami. His Holiness Jayaveda Swami said, as senior leaders in Srila Prabhupada's movement, Jayaveda Swami and Ramakrishna Goswami had to deal with complex and delicate issues over many years of service. And there were times when they did not see eye to eye. However, Jayaveda Swami emphasized how important it was to Goswami Maharaj for a respectful bond to continue between the two of them. Sometimes we found ourselves on the opposite sides of issues, and that made our relationship a little rocky. And these would usually not be small things either. They would often be major issues, major items, but somehow we would carry on. As I look back at it, part of the reasons we kept on was that he made a special effort. By nature, I was more religious that regard. I thought, whatever happens, happens. And you just carry on. It was very characteristic of him to do that. In hindsight, I see that it mattered a lot to him to have loving relationship with his God brothers and God sister. And his was a friendship you would not want to lose. Thank you very much. We would like to invite everyone to come to the Vyasa Puja celebration today in the Conch building, 3rd floor. So we'll start at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.